Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we are back on the frame. We'll be boxing the frame in where the 4 link mounts are actually connected to the frame. This is going to make it nice and sturdy, so there's no question whether or not this is going to actually take the stress of the rear end pulling on the frame. So we're going to be working on boxing in the frame with 1/8 inch steel plate. So let's get to it. So the goal right now, the upper cross member connects right here and it's welded to the frame. The lower 4 link bar is going to connect here. So we're going to box this entire frame in about 16 inches from here up to about here or so. This will be completely boxed in with 1/8 inch plate, and that's going to make this frame right here nice and sturdy and ready to go. So there won't be any questions about whether or not the 4 link that is connected to the frame will hold. It will be nice and sturdy. I actually went to the metal shop and I picked up 2 pieces of this 1/8 inch steel. It's actually 5.5 inches wide by 48 inches long. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this down to about 16 inches long, and then the frame, inside of the frame is about 5.25 inches, so we're going to work on making sure that fits perfectly. This will get welded right up into the frame, which will box the frame in nicely, and let's get to it. Mark on the frame where I actually want this. So it's going to kind of look like though. There's a notch around this little bit, notch a little bit down here. This should slide up and it's almost a perfect fit. And we weld right along here, right along the bottom. Done. Then we're going to redo some braces on the bottom mount here for the 4 link. Right now it doesn't have anything here holding it in place, so we'll put a little piece in there and then a little brace running up to the plate. Little section out right here. Alright, so that fits really good. I'm going to use the flappy wheel, clean up the frame, clean up the actual piece of metal we're going to be welding in place to box the frame in, and we're going to give it a go with the welder. Need to cut a notch in the top of the frame just a little bit, so if I do raise the truck up higher, it doesn't hit the frame when this top arm pivots down. It hits just a little bit, so that's going to clear that up. I'll have to adjust the boxing plate as well. clamps work really good. The problem is they're plastic, so you can't really weld too much with these unless it's hard to melt. But it's good enough to actually hold the metal in place while we tack it at least. So I cut a little metal piece right here. This is actually going to be a little spacer that's going to weld in on top of the 4-link mount for the lower mount. Put the real welding gloves on and finish welding that in place. I made 2 of these little brackets here. Not really gonna be able to see too well. I'm gonna zoom in over there to show you what I'm working on. This bracket hangs out a little bit, so I want to actually add a couple little braces right on top of that. Then I'm just gonna tack weld in place, like that. And then another one's gonna go right here. Done now. This is nice. That is not going anywhere. So let's get that bolted back in. So we welded in a gusset behind this bracket, right back here. Now we're going to weld in this tiny little bracket right up underneath here. Just to add a little support downwards. Probably won't help much, but something. Alright, so we have the rear triangulated 4-link completely installed. The frame around the 4-link connections are all boxed in. And I have the truck completely down on 4 wheels now and completely aired out. The problem I'm seeing now is completely aired out, it actually pivoted forward on the actual transmission cross member, and I think it's the bolts that are actually holding that cross member into place. And when it pivoted, it actually lifted the back end back up in the air a little bit. So if I air the front up a little bit, it actually levels this back out. So I'm going to do some welding and redo the transmission mount again, but we're getting there. Rear end came out really nice. C-notches came out really good. Everything articulates correctly. Alright everyone, that's going to be a wrap for today's video. We got the rear 4-link completely installed, frames boxed in around the 4-link connections. We got the truck back down on 4 wheels and we aired it out, tested it out to see how it actually sits. I'm noticing a little problem on the actual transmission mount where it's actually pivoting, might be pivoting on the actual bolts holding that cross member for the transmission in place. So in the next video, we're going to work on the rear airbag suspension as well as possibly redoing that transmission mount. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification icon down below. And thank you for watching. See you in the next video.